Hello everybody. Today we will be talking about earthquakes. How do earthquakes form? First of all, to know how earthquakes form, we will have to do this thing. We will have to learn about tectonic plates. So how tectonic plates are is that there are 7 tectonic plates on Earth. So basically they are under the ground and they just continue to move. So they move very slowly. So if you were thinking that, then why am I not moving, or why do I not feel that I'm moving? Then it's because tectonic plates, they move only 1 centimeter a year. So that's very, 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 very slow movement throughout the year. So these tectonic plates are 7. They're broken up into 7 pieces, like puzzle pieces, and sometimes they crash into each other. So now we'll go on to how do earthquakes form. So these tectonic plates, after they crash into each other, like let's say that you have, so don't do this experiment because this will take many years for this to happen actually. So take 2 sides of a magnet and the side that do not connect. So these sides usually do not connect. So slowly, you should be able to get them connected. But there's a pressure, and this pressure tears this magnet apart. So after some more years, the pressure gets so much that these magnets just burst apart. They just can't hold each other anymore. So the pressure is basically pushing the magnets apart. So in tectonic plates is pressure. After they crash, pressure keeps on building up and up in these tectonic plates till they just fly apart. So you can also do this experiment. Well, this will not take any year. This will only take like one minute or so. So this experiment, what you can do is you can get some stiff cardboard and some tape, and you can get a toy car or something that represents a structure on Earth. So what you're going to do is you can lock your hands together, put the cardboard on top of your hands and tape it, and then put the structure on, and then put whatever you have on top of, or you can just put an object, like don't put a circle on top of it. You won't be able to understand the experiment, but you can put any other object on there. So after you've done this, after you've put your object onto the cardboard, just make your hands apart. Like your hands that are together, just make them apart. Like don't make them together again. You will see, if you take it with such force, that you will be able to see that the structure on top of your stiff cardboard, the object on top of your stiff cardboard, will shake. This is what happens with tectonic plates too. So when an earthquake happens is when the tectonic plates separate. So that's how earthquakes form. So the shaking usually continues for like a minute or so, but some earthquakes happen more than 5 minutes, which is a big deal. So let's review what we've learned. Tectonic plates are always moving. There are 7 tectonic plates, and they crash together. The pressure pulls them apart, and as you can see, like that experiment, the second experiment with the stiff cardboard, you can see that when the tectonic plates or your hands went apart, everything on that stiff piece of cardboard vibrated. So now we will do part 2. Part 2 is where do earthquakes form? Usually earthquakes form where the tectonic plates usually are, or where their edges are. As I've told you before, tectonic plates only move 1 centimeter a year, and usually they're pushed back by other tectonic plates. So they usually stay in the same place each year, and they just move. Their place usually just slowly changes over many, many, many years. So, as you know, that San Francisco is a high-prone area to earthquakes because there are two tectonic plates edges right over San Francisco. So that's why San Francisco has so many earthquakes. Some of them are moderate, some of them are just not very big shaking. It doesn't shake a lot, and some of them do shake a lot. So yeah. So usually earthquakes happen where the edges of tectonic plates meet. So that's usually, so most of the earthquakes happen in the Great Pacific region, like the Ring of Fire. So in this, earthquakes can also happen in a different form. Earthquakes can happen when a volcano rumbles and then a floor shakes. So yeah, sometimes volcanoes rumble and make the ground shake too. So there's a bunch of reasons why earthquakes can happen. Well, basically there's only two reasons. Yeah, why did I say bunch? There's just two reasons why, and these reasons are usually the reasons that usually happen. So the first reason, because of tectonic plates are usually what happens. Volcanoes usually don't really happen, but they do still happen. So don't think that they don't exist. So, yes. So, usually most earthquakes happen in the Ring of Fire where volcanoes are also made near tectonic plate edges. So, the Great Pacific Ring of Fire, the Ring of Fire has a lot of tectonic plate edges, so that's where earthquakes usually happen. And volcanoes also cause earthquakes because they rumble and they shake the ground. So they are also the earthquakes. So volcanoes form near tectonic plates too. So you'll learn about that in my next podcast, which will be about volcanoes and how do they form. So yes. So these volcanoes usually happen near tectonic plates, and these volcanoes are near tectonic plates, and tectonic plates also cause earthquakes, and volcanoes also cause earthquakes. So that is a good place for earthquakes. Earthquakes can happen anywhere in the world, but they usually don't happen in some places, like Wisconsin or Illinois, because they're very, very, very far away from tectonic plate edges. So this is how earthquakes form. This is how tectonic plates are, how tectonic plates work, and also how where do earthquakes happen mostly. So thank you for listening to my short little podcast, only around 8 minutes. Hope you like my podcast. We'll see you in the next podcast. Bye, bye, bye.